What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Monday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Peralt. You guys can follow me across all my socials at Sports Talk Matt. This podcast being brought to you by your friends at DraftKings. That was a long day of football. We started early on the West Coast. I got up at 6:45 and the game was already into the second quarter. Jets blow it to the Vikings in London and then all the way to an hour and a half lightning delay for the Steelers and the Cowboys. My goodness. Late night, even on the West Coast, that's a late night. That's a 9:45 finish on the West Coast, 12:45 Eastern time. And for that, Dak Prescott gets it done. But it wasn't enough to save the day entirely because yesterday was not a good day. The Ravens come in for us, make it good. The Bills and the Cowboys teaser comes in. That was good. The props go 3-1, but that's the only good thing that happened because the Raiders were going to go up 17-3 on the Broncos. That bet was going to cash. That bet was going to come in. Raiders threw a pick six. Gardner Minshew gets benched, and it's good for our under 6.5 play, mind you, okay? That's good for us on that, but not good for that single bet with us coming in here where the Raiders should have won that game outright. Instead, they got housed in the second half. The Bills and the Texans, we had chances to go over there, but the Bills' offense really was stagnant. The Bills, I think they're pretenders. I'm not sure the Texans are for real, but I think the Bills are just pretenders. And the Packers and the Rams, that game also could have gone over. That was seesawing back and forth on a couple of drives. That didn't go well. And then the Wong teaser dropped to 0-5. 0-5. I got to reassess whether we're going to keep on doing that because the thing with this season, it is absolutely insane. One of the things that makes the Wong teaser so great is that you pass through 7 and 3 when you're pulling somebody down or pushing somebody up, right? So you go from 2.5, you cross 3, and you cross 7. When you have a 7 or 7.5 point line, like we did for the Seahawks and the Niners, well, now we're pulling down through 7 and through 3. Those are all key numbers that are supposed to really matter. But the problem is right now is that dogs of 6 points or more, they're not just covering like what they occasionally would do, right? They lose the game, but they would cover. So they lose by 4. They lose by 3. And we would have the teaser, and that would make the teaser really profitable for us to go ahead and do that. Well, the problem is these big dogs, they aren't just covering this season. They are winning at an epic rate, a rate that just doesn't make any sense. Dogs in the NFL of 6 points or more are 11-8 straight up. They're 16-2-1 against the spread. 16-2-1, but 11-8 straight up. That's what's destroying the Wong teaser. That's what's making this season so incredible. It's the first time since 1960 that dogs of 6 points or more are over 500 straight up through the first 5 weeks of this season. And it's the best winning percentage all time. Best winning percentage of all time. Best against the spread winning percentage all time, I should say. The best ever. 16-2-1 for dogs 6 points or more. So that's why I'm getting killed on the Wong teaser. If you're wondering, like, Matt, why do you keep on betting the Wong teaser? Well, I just keep on going to him. How can this continue? Like, how can this keep going? At some point, we have to stop, right? Wrong. Circus Survivor, 14,266 entries into a $14.2 million contest is down to 227 entries for $14.2 million. I know 2 people that have entries left. Of the 227 entries left, that entry is worth $63,000. Now, after entering it for $1,000, there's 227 people or entries left, and we're through week 5. We're not even through week 5. We got 1 game left tonight with week 5. I mean, people are saying we're not going to get to Halloween. I think we'll get past Halloween, but I don't think we're making Thanksgiving for this thing. It's unbelievable. This year, there's a reason why the Wong teaser is 0-5, because big dogs don't matter. I mean, it just doesn't matter. Both Seattle and San Fran lose outright. The top 2 picks in the Circus Survivor, 5 consecutive weeks for the top pick in Circus Survivor has lost the game. Not just failed to cover, has lost the game outright. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a wild NFL football season for us. So we went up down 2 units on the day. That does not kill the week, though. It puts a dent in the profitability of the week, but it does not kill the week. We have a winning week for us here today. So we start a new week, winning week, losing week, winning week. 2 out of the last 3 with winning weeks. Let's start a new one here during the month of October for week number 2 here with October with the Saints and the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. Before we do that, let's talk about our friends at DraftKings. And if you guys haven't gone and downloaded the new Pick 6 app, you should do that right now. Use the code JUICE. That's code JUICE for the new Pick 6 customers. You play $5, you get $50 in Pick 6 credits guaranteed. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-97777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions may vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos for the Pick 6 plays. Okay, let's get it tonight. Saints are catching 5.5 on the road at Arrowhead. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be on the Chiefs tonight just because it's the Chiefs. KC is 4-0 this season, straight up. KC is 3-1 on the year ATS. Same mark for the New Orleans Saints, however. The New Orleans Saints lost their last game on the road against Atlanta. So this is the second game in a row on the road for the New Orleans Saints. This is prime time. This is the Chiefs. This is Arrowhead. They were catching 2.5 points against the Falcons. They covered. They were catching 2.5. They lost by 2. Now they're catching 5.5 against Kansas City, and the total is 43. Look, I think this is the week that the injuries catch up to the Chiefs. The Chiefs haven't played well in the first half. You want to bet the Saints in the first half? Don't mind it at all. Chiefs play poorly in the first half. They play better in the second half. I think KC can win the game. But much like the Falcons game, I think they'll win the game by 3 points or less if they win the game. I think 5.5 points is too heavy here. I think the Saints can keep it close. I think their offense can keep it close. I think they have a chance here to put a scare in the Chiefs. This is their second biggest favorite number here. Third biggest, sorry. 6.5 against Cincinnati, they didn't cover. 6.5 against the Chargers on the road, they did cover. And then 5.5 at home against New Orleans. I think Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara, I think they can run the ball here on the Chiefs well enough. I think they can throw the ball in the Chiefs secondary well enough. And the injuries, the injuries are just unbelievable for the Chiefs here in week number 5. We're just talking about so many important players who are out of this game for the Chiefs. There are some for the Saints, but the Chiefs injury report is just ridiculous. Mecole Hardman is questionable with a knee injury. Kareem Hunt is questionable with a shoulder injury. Both those guys should play. No Rashee Rice. He is out. He's on the IR. No Isaiah Pacheco. He's out. He's on the IR. No Hollywood Brown. He's out. He's on the IR. No Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's out with an illness. Injury reserve. He'll miss at least 4 games of the year. He's out with an illness. So your starting running back, your backup running back is questionable. Your number 1 wide receiver, your number 2 wide receiver, both out. 5 injuries. And Mecole Hardman, if he can't go, is another big blow. And Travis Kelce hasn't looked great. Okay, yes, Taylor Swift will be in the building, so maybe Travis will play better, and he won't be pouting like he's been pouting for so long. I'm taking the points. Give me the Saints, plus 5.5 for New Orleans. Now, I've been good with these same-game primetime teasers. I'm 5-2 in these primetime same-game teasers. If I like the Saints 5.5, I got to like the Saints a lot, 11.5, okay? So I'm going to tease them up to 11.5. Saints plus 11.5. Here's a number to watch. I think it's like 10 straight or 11 straight games. If the Chiefs go down by exactly 10 points during this game, they should be an auto fire on the money line to bet the money line because they've come back and won like 11 or 12 straight games. So being down exactly 10 points, not 9, not 11, exactly 10 points during a game. Patrick Mahomes has rallied to win outright. So maybe keep that in mind. But plus 11.5. And then I'm going to pull it down to 37 and go over. I think we're going to see points here. I think both offenses have success. I think both offenses can move the football. I'm really thinking the Saints are going to move the ball on the Chiefs defense well enough to get this thing. I think they're scoring 20 plus points here tonight. And I think the Chiefs with Mahomes, they're going to score at least 17 points on this defense for the New Orleans Saints. So over 36, it's 43, so it's over 40. What did I put it at? It's over 37. So Saints plus 5.5, Saints plus 11.5, tees with over 37. That should be 1 point minus 120, not minus 110, minus 120 for 1.2 units on the price for that. So a full unit down, 1.1 units down on the Saints plus 5.5, Saints plus 11.5 and over 37. We're going 1.2 units down on that. 2 player props to give you guys here, and I'm going to put a half unit down on each because I think they're both pretty likely to hit. Justin Watson, who's catching the ball? Justin Watson for the Chiefs. We've been on him a bunch this year. His props have come in. The books are raising the number because of the injuries to the wideouts, but Justin Watson, it's only 25.5 yards for his receiving prop. We're going over. We've hit this a couple of times this year. Justin Watson over for his receiving, 25.5 points. 25.5 yards receiving for 0.55 to win a half a unit. And then I'm doing the same with Alvin Kamara. I think Alvin Kamara comes in and catches on a swing pass. He's involved heavily in the pass game. You have a great pass rush from the Chiefs, a lot of outlet passes, a lot of swing passes coming to Kamara. I think he can pop 1 or 2 of these and just take it to the house. Alvin Kamara over 31.5 yards receiving, also to win a half a unit, 0.55 down on that. So that's the card for us. That should say Monday. Sorry, plays for Monday, not Sunday. It should be Monday 10-7. I apologize for that. It's really late right now. It's been a long day. Saints plus 5.5. Saints plus 11.5 over 37. Watson over his receiving, 25.5. Kamara over his receiving at 31.5. Both those prop bets to win a half a unit coming up here today on Monday Night Football. My name is Matt Peralta. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt. Every morning, it's the Daily Juice Podcast presented by DraftKings.